Hi guys, we are in Stuttgart Motor City today visiting our friends from asellerate, Retromotion, and trying to figure out how they use our TecDoc and TecCom products to boost their e-commerce sales. Looks pretty fancy here, so let's have a look and let's go.
Hi, my name is Arthur. I'm the co-founder and managing director of asellerate. How did the journey start? It started out with an initiative of Mali, who were interested in elaborating about the topic of 3D printing and additive manufacturing and finding out what kind of opportunities this topic has to offer. What they did special was they brought together representatives out of the corporate world together with representatives out of the startup world to elaborate on the topic while using startup methodologies. So together with my colleagues, I got involved in that, and we found out pretty fast about what the market really is asking for. And that was that the spare parts for classic cars, the demand from end consumer side is pretty high. However, the availability of the spare parts is not always given. And with that, we came out with an idea about consolidating the availability of stocks in the warehouses of tier 1 suppliers and offering this through an online channel like our online shop. And furthermore, for the spare parts maybe that an end consumer couldn't find in our online shop, we were offering also the exploration about how feasible is a reproduction of it. This idea resonated pretty well in the market. From end consumer side, we received real good feedback and traffic on our online website, as well as on the supplier side, where we have onboarded about 30 suppliers within a year. While doing so, we also had some key findings, and one of the key findings was that the industry is not yet ready for e-commerce business, and in order to do scalable business in this area, it is important to master different disciplines such as digital product content, digital processes. You have to you need to have dynamic pricing, for example, and accordingly, we took this experience and enhanced our business model. And what we do now at the moment is we are offering an e-commerce infrastructure as a service to the industry to foster the possibilities and opportunities in the e-commerce business under the brand of asellerate.
Hi, my name is Tosca. I'm product owner here at Retromotion or asellerate, and as this, I'm part of our IT team. My responsibilities are mainly the product development and also project management for this development. And I have a lot of touch points here within our different teams and gather the requirements for the product and push this. Our core product is our so-called engine. And the engine is really like an e-com infrastructure, so to say, and it's more or less our heart really of the whole e-com business we do. It's set up out of different core elements. We have our dashboard, which is usually like the first point of entry for the customer, where you can get a quick overview of what's going on with the products, where are they selling, how are they selling, and etc. Just like a common dashboard that you know from different applications as well. Then we have our PIM, which is a product information management, where you do the whole, we can pretty much work with the products. We can assign titles or descriptions and see whether or not they are on different channels, activate them, deactivate them, and so really groom the products for the sales process. We pretty much have different sources for the data we get, either from the customer or also through APIs. So we're quite open where we get the information from, and then it goes into our system and we enrich it more with our PIM. The next step in this journey would be the order management, where we get a good overview of where the products are sold, whether we have any difficulties anywhere in the logistics way, for example. And this is a really powerful tool for us to see at which step of this journey the product is in the sales process.
Wir kommen rein, du machst den Take, ich nehme mir Platz und dann los geht's. Hi, so my name is Michael. I'm the CTO of Retromotion /asellerate, and I'm sitting here in my old bus, right? You might ask yourself, what is this guy doing here? Well, I like cars. That's my big problem, and I like building software. So this is why I ended up here with Retromotion, and I figured I can combine two things that I really love and create awesome products and results out of that. So, long story short, I like cars, I like software, and I like building things. So, how about we apply that to e-commerce and help a couple of well-known brands make awesome sales in the e-commerce world?
During our journey, we saw that also on the tier 1 supplier side, there is a demand, especially in the e-commerce business and on the side of digital processes. And to do e-commerce business in a scalable way, you need to fulfill some criteria or requirements. And we saw that the industry is, for example, not yet ready for B2C fulfillment. In the past, it was always about sending out pallets, but nowadays you need to send out little parts, piece by piece. This is quite a challenge for the industry. Also needs some kind of transformation within the industry, and we saw this need, and therefore we said, okay, we have here already gained some experience, and we are using the tools, and we are digitizing processes, and we would like to offer this also to the industry.
It's all about data. So what we do is we have to come up with a way to enable a supplier or a client to make the perfect sale, right? To make sure that his products are performing well. So for that, we obviously need data, and where TecAlliance and TecDoc come into play is in the form of a common standard. Of course, a standard is always like the first starting point. Standards are always conceived as the common denominator between different systems. In our case, obviously, we have a specialization when it comes to the e-commerce world. In the past, the TecDoc data and catalog data its purpose was catalogs. So there were like smaller images. Obviously, we moved into the future a couple of years, and suddenly we have these mobile phones with high resolution screens. So suddenly, 400 by 400 pixel wide image is not enough anymore. Especially not in the e-commerce world, because we want to show the product adequately, we want to put it into perspective, we want to show it to the user as closely as possible, so we depend on quality. And this is what we basically do. We take the data from TecDoc, enrich it, and tell our suppliers on how to transform this data, and we help them with that, with our engine and all the tools and pipeline services around that to build a better product to make the sale. From this point on, we consider the onboarding completed in the first step. What we now enter is basically the portfolio ramp-up phase, where we take a look at the quality and iteratively improve it. We also route back feedback to the supplier when it comes to the product quality or improvements. Yeah, and that's basically it. So our engine from then on takes care of the pricing, adjustments, and the whole market analytics.
Analytics are very important for us, and they pretty much work together with the dashboards I already mentioned. So we have a big part of our engine is an analytical part where we look at all the data that we have for our sales, but also for the products. And all these analytics go into the dashboard, so the customers can also see like how their products are selling and so on.
We talked about onboarding and the day and how we basically started with TecDoc data, but now we go one step further. We have products now. We list them on our on the channels. They're ready for sale. Now, what happens next? Well, there is a sale. We sell a product on a channel, and our system then receives basically the order from the channel, and we process it through our logistic and fulfillment components. And what we then do, of course, depending on what kind of logistic setup we use for a certain product or supplier, which can be multiple options. For example, drop shipment, so the product gets sold through us, but the supplier kind of distributes it to the end user, for example. For these cases, there's TecCom and TecOrder that come into play, which in such cases, they're a perfect communication platform for us to integrate with, because there's no specialties or anything required. All we gotta do is basically sync up with a supplier, figure out what kind of TecOrder and TecCom setup they're using and how they internally map their data structures and processes, and we just dock onto that and we transmit them the sales, and they let us know if they got us, if everything is in order and they can ship it, right?
Yeah, I believe in the past decades, the industry was all about the physical world. In the next decades, it will be a lot of focus about the internet and the online world. And the industry needs to meet different criteria in the near future already. They need to elaborate on their data. They need to think digital. They need to hire digital people. They need to invest into technology which gives them access to data, where they can organize data and where they can work with data. So it will be a lot about data in the future. And I think this transformation, next to all the other challenges that the industry has, needs definitely to be on the roadmap of the aftermarket.